Over farming as much as possible and going for this crunch. This will be enough to knock out Swampert unless they burn their final shield. Back out comes Nidoqueen. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We sack the Poliwrath. The opponent undercharges. Building up as much energy as possible. We are going to fire a crunch. The Registeel is going to be forced to shield, and once again, stay in school, kids. Learn to count. These basic bitch tin can players always fire the move as soon as they've got it. Back out comes the Skuntank. The opponent now makes a great swap of their own. Will we make the back-to-back moves against the Registeel? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So, in today's video, we have got an insane couple of sets of battles. As you can see from the intro, we were pulling out all the stops to pull off the dubs. The team is going to be Poliwrath, Double Dark Poison, in my opinion, the strongest team in the Open Ultra League. A pretty standard ABB team. The Poliwrath in the lead is there to deal with the Stunfisk and Swamperts that our backline really doesn't want to see. If we don't see it in the lead, we will be safe switching into our Drapion. And in game one, we pick up an absolute dreadful lead against Cresselia. We count to 6, look to catch the Grass Knot, and we catch it on Drapion. Grass Knot is resisted due to our poison type, and the opponent stays in, throws one Psycho Cut, and they come in to the big fat Walrus. This isn't a bad matchup for us. We are going to be spamming out these crunches, fishing for the defense drop. The opponent is building up towards the Earthquake. We get to one more crunch. This is going to get the Walrus into a Mudshot farm down range. I'm no shielding the Drapion. If they throw an Icicle Sphere, I actually am going to choose to shield because I want to get shields down, because Skuntank doesn't really operate that way when shields are up. So we do shield up the move. We get to another crunch. This will be forcing a shield from the opponent. Obviously, they're going to want to maintain that positive matchup in the lead. The opponent throws energy at this stage now. We're just going to come in with Poliwrath and commit to the Mudshot farm down. Our Poliwrath is already fairly loaded. By the time we've Mudshot down, we are going to be close to 100 energy. This is just an Icicle Sphere, and it absolutely tickles Poliwrath. We actually choose to bank the energy, and we snipe with our Skuntank. I highly doubt the opponent is going to shield. Knowing we've got 100 energy on our Poliwrath, we're going to tank the move and go straight for the Hail Mary. They've learned their defense with a superpower. Is Flamethrower enough to knock out? The opponent survives with 1 HP and a dream, and as per fucking usual, we get some lag. We do manage to farm down. Back out comes Cresselia. We are going to outpace to the crunch. Crunch should be drawing the final shield from the opponent. They let it go. This game now is absolutely over. We're going to allow Skuntank to go down. We've got 100 energy on Poliwrath. We're going to be spamming out these ice punches. We will need 2 to knock out. They don't shield the first one. We're now almost at the back-to-back. This ice punch will be drawing the shield from Cresselia, and this next ice punch is going to be enough to knock out. So Poliwrath is a Cresselia counter confirmed. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Shadow Poliwrath into Trevenant. You hate to see it. We are going to once again count to 5, look to catch the Seed Bomb on Drapion. The opponent's too smart for that, and they switch out into Galarian Stunfisk. This is looking absolutely dreadful. We will get one shot by an Earthquake, and you can see that this Bear Trap is super thick in the Ultra League. It tanks the crunch, no problem whatsoever. Earthquake one shots. There's no point in shielding Drapion up, as that is not a matchup we shall be flipping. We're going to come back in with Poliwrath. We're going to build up to 100 energy. This Dynamic Punch will be enough to knock out the Bear Trap, and we're not going to hit with an Earthquake. Back out comes the Trevenant. We CMP tie, we lose CMP. We actually forced overtap. You hate to see that as well. We tank the Seed Bomb. Now it's time for the Ice Punch. Ice Punch does hit Trevenant for super effective. They no shield. We switch out into Skuntank, and it's public enemy number 1, the big fat tin can in the back. Most people love to 2-shield their Reggie. The opponent might be thinking they're in a sweet spot. Well, we have a plan for you, Mr. Registeel. You're about to find out. That Skuntank doesn't give a fuck. We also like 2-shielding our Skunk. They no-shield the first move. They've debuffed our attack. We go straight for the Flamethrower. The Registeel is now deep into the red. We are going to shield up absolutely everything. And as always, kids, if you follow the channel, stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We're counting lock-ons. We look to sack the Poliwrath. We sack the Poliwrath. You absolutely love to see it. We now have a possible win con. Back out comes the Trevenant. We see the switch coming. We are fishing for the defense drop. Does the defense drop happen? It does not. We are now going to be able to tank this Shadow Ball. We need to poison jab down before they make the Seed Bomb. Their 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we farm down. Can we make the back-to-back crunches? We are almost there. This crunch will be drawing the shield from the Registeel. The next crunch will be enough to knock out, and once again from a rough spot, Triple Shadows pull off the dub. GG's and thanks for playing. So far, we've seen 2 really rough leads in the video. It's now raining. We pick up a pretty neutral lead. This is exactly what our backline doesn't want to see. Swampert is really problematic for the backline. We are going straight for the Dynamic Punch. No baits on this channel. Dynamic Punch lands. It gets the Swampert into the yellow. You will notice this is not a Shadow Poliwrath. You also saw the finger animation. That is because I uninstalled the game and reinstalled because I was getting pissed off with lag. So I unfortunately picked the wrong Poliwrath, but it doesn't matter. We come in to Drapion, we shield up the Hydro Cannon. We were looking to poison Sting down. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it. Out comes Talonflame. We are going to be spamming out these crunches. First crunch draws a shield. That is a mistake from the opponent because the subsequent crunch will do more damage. We are going to tank this flame charge. Get to the next crunch. We overfarm to optimize fast move timing. This crunch lands, it gets the Talonflame deep into the red, and they now farm down. This is where things get somewhat tricky, so you're going to see me come into the Skunk. We throw a poison jab, we switch out into Poliwrath. Absolutely beautiful. The opponent now dumps their energy onto our Poliwrath. We come in, poison jab down with the Skunk. What is in the back? In the back is a Cresselia. We already know that Swampert is still in the back. We need to be mindful of the sacrificial swap. We go straight for this crunch because the opponent's switch timer will not have elapsed yet. We are not going to shield this first move up. We are going to hold energy. We know the swap's coming. Wait till the swap comes. It's still not coming. There it is. We poison jab down the Swampert. Back out comes Cresselia. I believe this is just a grass knot, but I've got a shield. I am going to shield it up. We're now at the back-to-back crunches. This crunch will be drawing a shield from Cresselia, and the second crunch will be enough to knock out. So once again, GG's and thanks for playing, and I immediately am going to get rid of this stupid non-shadow Poliwrath. And now you can see the Shadow Poliwrath has returned in all its glory, and we pick up a rough lead against Talonflame. We switch out into Drapion, and here comes Swampert. This is exactly how the ABB team is supposed to function. You need to draw out the Swampert or Galarian Stunfisk. You can see we got the defense drop. This is absolute best case scenario for us because now we have forced shield advantage, and this Swampert is still going to need Earthquake to take us out. We are not going to shield this up. The opponent smartly does go for the Earthquake, and now we are sitting in a pretty sweet spot. We come back in with Poliwrath. We are going to have to tank an Earthquake, but either way, Poliwrath is fairly thick. It isn't going to hurt us too much, and we don't really need that much health on Poliwrath. We only need to get rid of the Swampert. They now switch out into Cresselia, thinking they've got our Dark type out of the way, but guess what, motherfucker? Meet Dark type number 2. As I've still got 2 shields, I shield up the first Moonblast. Is the opponent willing to burn their final shield on this crunch? We're about to find out. Crunch lands for big damage. We can now tank whatever Cresselia wants to throw, and we will be able to commit to the poison jab farm down. Our Skunk is now absolutely loaded. If Swampert does return, I'm going to get to back-to-back crunches, get rid of him with a crunch, and now it is going to be just that pesky Talonflame in the back. We throw 2 poison jabs, fire off the crunch. Let's see if the opponent is willing to give up their final shield. Yes, they do. Once again, a huge mistake from the opponent. We are now going to shield this move up. We're already at the crunch. We're going to fire this off absolutely immediately. We've got a whole bucket load of energy bank on Poliwrath. Crunch lands for big damage. We switch out combo play into Poliwrath, but the opponent realizes they're a noob and quit the match. Moving on into the next battle. We finally pick up a good lead. The Walrus immediately switches out into Giratina, and here comes Shadow Claw Giratina. We have been pretty hard countered throughout this video. It is time for us to hard counter the opponent. Crunch lands for big damage. We don't need to be too mindful. We can tank 3 Dragon Claws, absolutely no problem. And we are going to only need 2 crunches to take the opponent out. They outpace to this next Dragon Claw, but we still don't need to shield. We overfarm, looking to CMP tie the Giratina on the next Dragon Claw. This crunch will be enough to knock out the opponent. Chooses to shield it up, but I am going to match shields here and fire off another crunch. If the opponent wants to burn 2 shields, I'm more than happy for Drapion to go down. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. They don't shield it up. Drapion is still fairly healthy, well, at least healthy enough to make another crunch against this Walrus. That will mean 1 dynamic punch is enough to knock out. We come back in to the Poliwrath. We are going to tank this Earthquake. Shadow Poliwrath tanks an Earthquake from Walrus, no problem. We are still into the yellow, and in the back is the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. I absolutely am going to call the Flame Charge bait here. I dare the opponent to Brave Bird me, and like usual, I didn't fucking think so. We are now going to fire back with a crunch. Crunch does draw the opponent's final shield. They are now over farming, and that is another mistake because Skuntank is already at the next crunch. Crunch lands for big damage. They get taken out. We've got the Dynamic Punch locked and loaded. Hi Walrus, bye Walrus, GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle lead, Shadow Poliwrath into Cresselia. Once again, the dreadful leads have returned and we get some weak connections. So obviously uninstalling my app did absolutely fuck all for us. The opponent holds their energy and now switch out into the big tin can. Registeel Drapion isn't as bad a matchup as you would think, as we are really spammy with these crunches, and any one move does not one-shot our Drapions. They are going to have to dump a massive amount of energy to get rid of us. We're going to no-shield absolutely everything from this range. We are fishing for a defense drop, as if we get a defense drop we might be able to mudshot down this Registeel. We fire yet another crunch. We get the defense drop. You love to see it. Drapion is boosting itself into Super Saiyan mode and we get one more crunch. This draws a shield from the opponent and they have realised they aren't going to lock on us down. They now dump some energy and we are going to go for the very aggressive Mud Shot farm down. They are now 7.5 seconds away from the Zap Cannon. Can we farm down? We absolutely can. Poliwrath is now absolutely loaded. We are spamming out the Skuntank and in the back is a Talonflame. Once again, Skuntank, the second dark type, is going to go to absolute work. The opponent puts up a shield. Even though I know this is a flame charge, I'm going to match shields here. We are going to over farm, and I've actually decided at this stage, fuck it, I'm going to double shield and commit to the poison jab farm down. We will leave with almost back-to-back crunches. That Cresselia isn't quite at a move. They come in. We are going to fire this crunch immediately, and we are going to be spamming out Poliwrath, looking to catch the move. We catch the move on Poliwrath. This game is now absolutely over. We tank the grass, not absolutely no problem. And now, for the second time in the video, Poliwrath is going to start spamming out these ice punches. First ice punch just tickles, but guess what, Cresselia? There's more of where that comes. Number 2 comes through. We are going to outpace them to number 3, and once again, Poliwrath is a Cresselia counter. Confirmed. GG's, and thanks for playing. If you didn't believe in the double poison, double dark backline, you should be starting to believe now. Moving on into the next battle, yet more weak connection. I've got absolutely no idea what is going on with this game. If you follow me on Twitter, you will see I've posted 2 Niantic saying we're almost 3 months into the interlude season. What the fuck is this absolute nonsense? Getting into the commentary, we attempted to catch the Sludge Bomb on Drapion. We was successful. The opponent actually saw the switch coming. They threw Sludge Bomb anyway. They are now staying in, so they must be super weak. 2 dark in the back, so once again our second dark type is looking pretty fucking sweet. This next crunch will not KO. We are actually equal on energy, but you will notice I'm using a hundo, so this should be a CMP tie. This crunch will not KO, but if the opponent did throw their energy, which they did, they are now energy dry. Drapion, GG's body, you're just going to be a sacrificial swap in this game. But either way, we are going to come in with Poliwrath, look to commit to the Mud Shot farm down, and once again, Poliwrath is absolutely loaded. It's Trevenant in the back. Ice Punch does hit for super effective. They don't shield up the first one, so fuck it. I'm going to throw number 2. Is the opponent willing to burn their final shield? Yes, they are. We are now looking to catch the Seed Bomb. The opponent actually simultaneously swaps. They had the same idea. They were trying to catch my Ice Punch, and I tried to catch their Seed Bomb. It's DD in the back. High Deoxys meets Skuntank. I am going to shield up this Rock Slide because I've got 2 shields. Fuck it, I may as well shield up at something, but this game is absolutely over. I'm not going to shield this next move up. Even if this is another Rock Slide, it's just a Psycho Boost. It wouldn't have KO'd. We leave with a crunch and the opponent concedes the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Swampert in the lead. I'm unsure if it's Shadow because Poliwrath's a huge bulging back from all that gym work. Makes it really difficult to see if it is a Shadow Swampert. It's just a regular one. And for the first time ever, I shield the move. I've got no idea why, and they get baited. Hashtag I'm a fucking noob. We are now going to fire off this Ice Punch. Ice Punch will not KO, but it should pressure a shield from Swampert. Yet more lag. The opponent does shield it up. We are now going to no-shield the Earthquake, as it isn't a Shadow Swampert. We will survive, but our Poliwrath is super low. The opponent looks to make a catch on Caesar. We see the catch coming, eat Dynamic Punch, and now we switch out once again into the Skunk. I've chose to come into Skunk here as a lot of worse matchup against Swampert due to them resisting our Poison Jab and it not generating energy as quickly as Poison Sting. The opponent built up a boatload of energy and just sacked the Caesar. Bit of a strange play in the back. It is a Nidoqueen. We are going to make this crunch. They will need to Earth Power to take us out, as Poison Fang absolutely is not going to do it from this range. The opponent builds up an absolute boatload of energy. They're at 11. It's 8 for an Earth Power. This will be taking out Skuntank, and now we are in a really, really tricky spot. We are going to come in with Drapion. I am counting fast moves. This is enough for the Earth Power. I've been baited once in this battle. I choose to shield up the Earth Power, and it is a great shield. Back out comes Swampert. We are going to tank this Hydro Cannon. It is going to do big damage, but not enough to care. We build up to the back-to-back crunches. Is Swampert willing to burn their final shield? No, they are not. Now it is time to once again count fast moves. We count to 5. Sack the Poliwrath. You fucking love to see it. That is what happens when you fucking bait me, you absolute asshole. Now, Drapion can come back in. We've got the back-to-back crunches locked and loaded. First crunch will draw the shield. Second crunch will knock out. GG's, and thanks for playing. Mr. Opponent, I did not enjoy that bait. But all's fair in love and war. Don't get mad, get even. Moving on into the next battle, we see Dragon Breath, Giratina in the lead. I count to 6. Look to catch the Dragon Claw on Drapion, and once again, we are successful. The opponent now switches out into Empoleon, the big steel penguin. I look to fire this Crunch just as they get the energy for a Hydro Cannon. Crunch does land. We sneak a Poison Sting through. I could shield this up and make a play for switch advantage, but fuck it. We already know that Poliwrath is going to be absolutely brutalising to this Steel Penguin. I come in, over farm, too close to 100 energy. I go for a cheeky undercharge. We hit a Nice, but the Penguin absolutely doesn't want the work from Poliwrath. A Nice is still enough to knock out, so perhaps I should have just no-bubbled it. But either way, back out comes Giratina. We fire the first Ice Punch. The Giratina hasn't shielded. Once again, we are going to fire an Ice Punch. What the heck is in the back because the opponent still hasn't shielded. We switch out into Skunk, and look at that. It's public enemy number 1, the big fat tin can, for the second time, hiding behind 2 shields. We've already pulled this victory off once in the video. Can we do it once again? You already know that we are going to double shield both moves, and we are going to look to sack the Poliwrath for the second time in the video. So we are going to be spamming out these crunches. The Registeel still doesn't need to shield. This next crunch will be pressuring a shield. We are absolutely shielding everything this big tin can throws at us, and now it's time to count. The opponent has gone straight Zap Cannon, so my big Gahonas are going to say they're not going to focus blast, they're going to Zap Cannon. So that is 16 lock-ons, and on the 16th we sack the Poliwrath. This should be a Zap Cannon, even if they no-bubble it, it should be enough to take out Poliwrath. We build up a boatload of energy. They actually make a great swap in return onto Giratina. We now go for a no-bubble. It doesn't knock out. We get 2 more poison jabs. It's going to be a race. Can we get to the back-to-back crunches to take out Registeel? This crunch will be drawing a shield. And guess what, motherfucker? Eat crunch number 2. And once again, we pull off an absolute beautiful victory from a really rough spot. Shadow Skuntank, OP confirmed. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on into the final battle of the video, we lead Shadow Poliwrath into Alolan Ninetales. You hate to see it. We switch out into Drapion, and once again we are met with the Bear Trap. This is going to be really rough, but let's see if we can pull off yet another dub. We land the crunch. It does absolutely nothing. We don't get a defense drop. We go for crunch number 2. This opponent is somewhat smarter than the other ones. They are over farming, which does mean that our Poliwrath is going to have to eat an Earthquake. However, Alolan Ninetales is part Ice type, so this is where my 5-head play is going to come in. 2 dynamic punches will be enough to knock out Alolan Ninetales from a Shadow, so I am going to choose to shield up this Earthquake and look to commit to the world's most aggressive mud shot farm down. We are going to actually have to fire an Ice Punch, but once again I am going to undercharge. We do undercharge successfully. The opponent throws on 6. They're 1 short of the Earthquake. This is a rock slide. I am not shielding. We aren't at the back-to-back dynamic punches. We're not too far away though, so this dynamic punch will do big damage or draw a shield. The opponent lets it go. We switch out into Skuntank, and in the back is a Swampert. Ouch. So we led a fighter into a Charmer, and our 2 poison types got aligned with ground types. This game is absolutely over. I am going to call the Hydro Cannon bait. It is a Hydro Cannon. We do make 1 more crunch, but the opponent can just shield this up, and they will be able to mud shot, farm us down. Our Skunk is absolutely hopeless. I am now going to come in, call the bait. I've got a shield. I'm going to have to try and mud shot farm this thing down. However, I think they're just going to make back-to-back Hydro Cannons. I am going to shield this next one up. I believe they're 1 away. We aren't going to mud shot farm down, and we are going to lose this battle. Unfortunately, the 9-game win streak comes to an end in the final battle, but despite us leading a fighter into a Charmer, we did make it fairly close, or at least as close as I could. We did try and put out all the stops, but you can't win them all. So those were the battles featuring Poliwrath Double Dark Poison. This is my favourite team in the Ultra League. I highly recommend it. It's great fun, has great coverage on the meta. And I think what you can pick up from this video is, kids, stay in school, learn to count, because counting is absolutely key, especially in the Ultra League where Mon are so bulky. You've got plenty of chance to jump in and out of matches. So if you're new, consider subscribing. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you like your battles featured on the channel, link in the description down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.